I want to go back to the first experience with DMT because you mentioned coming into the space with the first session throughout that experience where that sort of low vibratory hum starts and then you didn't consider that the blast off. How did that experience progress as you moved through those? I think you said it was 6 or 7 complete sessions that day. I'm super interested to hear how that journey was for you.
So after that first full session of, 3 or 4 hits, I sat back and after feeling not afraid, feeling comfortable, feeling that this was a space that I was welcomed in, but once again, no entities, no interactions. So I pushed it a little bit. And now, once again, the beauty is it lasts 7, 8 minutes. You come back, there's no hangover. You can kind of integrate what you've experienced. But at that point, I wasn't just there to see sights and sounds. I was really looking for some sort of information. Pushed it again, maybe another hit or two. Explored that space. Once again, all the spinning mandalas, the sights and sounds, the vibratory hum, but no interaction, no entities. Pushed it again, and now we're going about an hour into it, and I I felt once again there was no bad interactions, but it was more just me going further and further into this space, but not getting any answers.
Mm.
And I say that
When you say you felt welcome, what does that mean? Was it a vibe? Was it things you were seeing? Was it a sensation?
it was the internal gut feeling that you would normally have, where I wasn't scared. I didn't feel like I had any negative energies, there to attack me. It was again, I think this is because it is a natural molecule in our own body. Was that it was exposing me to a normal state.
Mm.
It wasn't like, oh shit, I'm doing shrooms and now that poison's getting to me, or I just took a dose of LSD and now that poison's starting to affect my physiology and I got to kind of hold on for it. It was more like, oh, this is what it's like to be a human. Lean. It
Yeah.
gave me more desire to lean into it, not pull away from it, and so that's why I felt it as though it was comforting.
You felt like it was enhancing existing sensations or existing aspects of being
100%.
human rather than manipulating or completely turning sensations on their head where it doesn't feel like human experience.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of saying it. So not only the senses that we normally have were more clarified and more sensitive, but then yeah, there were new inputs that were being added to that. But again,
Okay.
there was no life changing, there was no talking, there was no interaction. It was more just I felt that my body could at least handle this molecule and just keep resonating, vibrating, and see what happens. But now, like I said, an hour plus into it, and I'm not necessarily getting answers. I'm kind of looking at my buddy, being like, "Fuck, is this a bust?" Like, I'm really, I gotta figure out something. And so that last session, and I every session prior, I really did have a plea to the universe. I did set my intention. I did kind of say my prayers. But this last one, I really kind of put it out there and asked sincerely with authentic, desire. Can you please show me something? Can you please, so I don't have to walk off and literally walk off into the woods and not come back? Like I really, can you just give me a sign that this isn't all fluff? That Joe Rogan and Rick Strassman and all these people aren't talking fucking shit. Like I really thought that this was gonna help. And that's when I had that life-saving epiphany that last time, and I wanna state too, it wasn't an interaction with entities, it wasn't interaction with the mantis beings or the machine owls,
Mhm.
and I've had all those, and we'll get into that. It really was a conveyance of information. It was like a DNA download. It was an upgrade of information that instantly made sense, and this is where I mentioned how I really resonated with your a couple guests ago's, Chris Cooper, and about how
Yeah.
a lot of his experiences brought him to this epiphany of just enjoy the moment, enjoy the now. And the best way for me to describe what happened that last blast was I took 7, 8 pulls. Like I really went deep, deep, deep. And all of the vibratory hums stopped. All the sights and sounds stopped. There was no input of senses. It really felt like I was just suspended in space. And then there was this conveyance of information. And again, it wasn't English speaking guy. It wasn't any of the other weird stuff that I have interactions with. It was just this conveyance of knowledge. And the best way for me to describe it was I was so caught up in my past with all of my advantages, all of my prior successes, all of the shit that I've done. But how could I be in such a fucked up space? And now look at all the damage that I've done. And what am I going to do in the future? And I was had all of these proverbial dots that I was just driving myself nuts trying to connect. And it was driving me nuts, and it was driving me to be anxious and suicidal. And um, in that instant, that entity or that conveyance was like, "Listen, you want me to connect all of these dots that are driving you nuts? Look, here they all are." And instantly there was this kind of connective field. But then those blew up, and it was like, "All right, now you have a million dots that need to be connected." Those were instantly connected. Those blew up, and it was like a billion, then a trillion. And the conveyance was like, "You stupid human, the point isn't to connect all the dots, to make sense of every connection. It's really to appreciate each individual dot. It's to appreciate the space between the beat. It's to appreciate just being right fucking here, right now." And that certainly didn't solve any of my external problems, but I instantly, once I had that realization that I needed to take control of my own life, that I had the ability to stop the rattle and chatter in my brain, and that I didn't have to have all of these things happening, that changed my perspective on how I then, with the spotlight shined on all of my internal issues that the shrooms, kind of put the spotlight on. Now I could finally kind of put them in the right compartments and understand how prospectively I needed to address this. And I came out of that crying my eyes out, so full of gratitude, knowing that, all right, this is something that I think I can handle.